Hey guys, I'm so excited we're here for week one of the recap of our Restless study. And so I hope that you guys have dived into this and enjoyed it as much as I have. Not only the book, but the study guide as well. I have to be honest with you guys. So yesterday I was skeptical going into the room with the group of women that I'm doing this study with, and it has nothing to do with them. They're awesome women. I'm just not a touchy, feely, fuzzy kind of woman, a kind of person, I guess you would say. But anyway, so the thought of sitting around a table with eight other women talking about my dreams and my fears and what's holding me back from that is not my idea of fun at all, actually. It actually makes me feel a little nauseous inside when I think about doing it. But I knew that that's what God wanted me to do. So we did it, and it was amazing. It was so awesome to be able to look around that table and see the different stages of life that each one of these women were in and how we could really speak to each other. A group of women that maybe besides the fact that we work at the same office, you wouldn't think we would have that much in common, but it was amazing just finding the threads of the common stuff in our life that we have, the stages that we've been through or where we're going or where we're headed. And so it was such an amazing time. And so I hope that you have enjoyed this first assignment of reading as well. And so my hope is that I can virtually, I guess, sit at a table with you. I can't physically be in a room with every single one of you. So my hope is that we can act like that I can act like I'm sitting at a table with you and share what I'm learning. And what I'm going to do is after I post the video, I'm also going to list some questions that I want you to answer in the comment section. Obviously, if you feel comfortable, but I really encourage you to answer those questions so that we can dialogue and we can interact in that way. So here's the first thing, right? Before we get into any of the book or any of the study, the first thing when you're doing this study and you're diving into it is that you have to make the commitment that you are going to be honest and you're going to be transparent. That was something that the group of women that I were with, the commitment we made right off the bat. We're going to be honest. We're going to be transparent. Even if it's not pretty, even if saying it out loud scares us to death, and we had some of that. But you need to make that commitment as well. If you're not going to make that commitment, it's not that I'm going to say you're not going to get anything out of this study. I mean, you're going to get something out of the study, but you're definitely not going to be able to really dive into what is your calling, what is your purpose, what does God have for you, where are your threads and what are you supposed to be doing, because if you're not honest about where you are now, you really can't see where you need to be. And so my challenge to you, my encouragement to you is right now, make a commitment that I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be transparent throughout the whole study of this, and I promise you, you will be so blessed by that. And so let's dive right in. Okay, so the first thing is the book. So we went through chapters 1 through 6 of the book, and there's just a couple things that I wanted to highlight from it. I'm sure you guys have tons of stuff underlined in your book, just like I do. But there's a couple things that I just wanted to highlight. And honestly, it doesn't start really until chapter 5 for me. I definitely got stuff out of chapter 1 through 4, but the things I want to highlight really start in chapter 5. So this is on page 40, right? Okay, so page 40. Right there. Got it? Right. Okay. So here's the things that I want to highlight. So right there at the top of page 40, she really begins to explore this concept of comparison. And she says, comparison is often why our important roles shrink to seem so insignificant. Comparison robs us of the joy of obedience. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely have experienced that. One of the things that I shared yesterday with the group of ladies that I was in is that this past Sunday was my 30th birthday. So it's this balloon right here for you. Yay! Got some friends that gave me this. Happy birthday. Awesome. Anyway, it was my 30th birthday, and to be honest with you, 30 was a little bit devastating for me as I was approaching 30. And as I sat and explored why that was the case, really it's because when it came down to it, I expected myself to be in a different place by the time I was 30. And some of you if you know me and you know my story, that might sound a little ridiculous. I have an amazing life. God has blessed me and my family in amazing ways. And so I'm not sad about where I am. I just felt like I would be somewhere different. And so as I started to really think about that and dive into it, it was about the same time that I was going through this. And I read that line there on page 40 about how comparison can often make what you're doing right now and your purpose right now seem insignificant. And when I thought about that, I shared yesterday, as ridiculous as this sounds, I remember being 20 and 21 years old and honestly thinking, man, I mean, 30, that's 10 years away. By the time I'm 30, I'm probably going to be like bigger than Beth Moore. What? I mean, the arrogance in and of itself in that statement is a little appalling, but remember, I'm 20, 21, okay? I've come a long ways. I have a long ways to go, but I've come a long ways. And to think about it, I'm not Beth Moore. I'm Jenny Jones. God didn't make me Beth Moore. He made me Jenny, and he has a plan for me as Jenny Jones and the skill sets and the things that he got me. And so once I read that and I realized that God is doing some unbelievable things in my life, and I am so blessed and humbled that he's using me as a tool and a resource to increase his kingdom and really change the next generation, minister to families. But all of that seems so insignificant when I compared it to what Beth Moore was doing. And I missed the joy in that. And so reading that just was huge for me, of not falling in that trap of comparison and having my joy like robbed from me was huge. And so now I'm sitting here and I'm working through the ability to be able to look at God and thank him for where I am and what God is doing in my life right now and be content with that. And so, gosh, man, that was huge for me. I don't want to shrink what God is doing right now and have it be insignificant because I'm not Beth Moore. So that was awesome. And then the next thing that I really wanted to highlight is, let's flip on over to page 46. And this is actually going to be in chapter 6, which is the last chapter that we went through. So 46, we need to quit apologizing for using our gifts and start apologizing for not using them. One of the things that I see so much in so many people that I talk to is basically this restlessness or this feeling of insignificance in their life. And honestly, a group that I see it with hugely is moms, because a lot of moms feel as if they gave up their identity, whatever it was before mom, whenever that little person entered your life. And once you had your first child, you become mom and you gain this new identity. And so many women feel like they've lost themselves in that, or they've been passed over, or that for this season of life, they're mom and that's all they are. And they lose the significance of what they're doing. And I think that we need to stop comparing ourselves to other people, just like we talked about before. And just like Jenny Allen said, we need to stop apologizing for using our gifts, and we need to start apologizing for not using them. And so I hope as we go along this journey, maybe you're sitting there and you're like, Jenny, you know what? It's not that I don't want to use my gifts. I have no idea what they are. And I know that. I've been there. I've felt that feeling before. And so if that's you, that's going to be huge. That's going to be part of this journey, is us finding threads and figuring out what those gifts are for you. And maybe you're sitting there and you know that you have some gifts. You know that God has asked you to do something, but you just feel where you are in your season of life, your hands are tied. You can't do anything about it. And so what I would challenge and I would ask you to do is take some time right after you get through watching this video and really ask the Holy Spirit right now in your season of life. It's not a surprise to the Holy Spirit where you are, but ask the Holy Spirit right now in your season of life, what is the most effective way you can do to serve him and to serve other people. I have a friend, and here's an example of what I'm talking about. So I have a friend, and she is a stay-at-home mom. She's got two little ones, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old of little boys. And so, you know, like most moms of little kids, she just felt very limited of what she can do. But man, she had a huge heart for just really ministering to people of other nationalities, and showing them Christ. And so she was kind of trying to figure out what to do. How does she do that? And so she basically came upon a preschool that is specifically for children of refugees here in Houston, in the Houston area. And so what she does is she went and she volunteers and she teaches at that preschool. So she can bring her two little boys with her, and they get interaction and they get playtime with other kids their age. And she also has an opportunity to build a relationship with these moms, because while she's watching these moms in their preschool, a lot of these moms are learning skills or learning English, and figuring out how they can survive and contribute to society. And she's able to watch their kids while they do that and build a relationship with them. And so what an amazing way, and what an amazing example of right here now where she is in this moment. She's still able to fulfill what God has called her to do, and the giftedness that He's given her of her heart for of other people, of missions and other people of other nationalities, and still fulfill her role as a mom and a wife. And so I would challenge you to be transparent with the Holy Spirit. If you feel like you've been passed over, man, say that to the Holy Spirit. If you feel like what you're doing is insignificant, say that to the Holy Spirit, and have an opportunity to allow Him to speak truth into you, that you have such amazing gifts and giftedness to increase His kingdom, and ask how that can be possible. What can I do? God is so much more creative than we are. And so many times when we feel like there's no more options or no more solutions, God has one. So stop apologizing for using your gifts and start apologizing for not using them, and get in the game, right? For lack of better words. And that's really the two big things that I pulled out from chapters 1 through 6. I know that you guys pulled out a ton of other stuff. So if you did, leave that in the comment section, okay? I want to know what it is, because I would love to be spurred on by you guys too. I'm gonna post from the study guide, which was awesome. Don't just read the book, make sure you're doing the study guide too. But I'm gonna post some questions from the study guide in the comment section, so be sure to answer those as well. Thanks so much, guys. Cannot wait to see you back next week after our assignment 2 of our reading, which I'll leave that on the blog as well. Have a great day. Bye.